For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Oh, we've just got 30 minutes of randomness today on the show. That's what it is. Randomness. Hopefully it's entertaining randomness, but we'll see as we go, all right? And it's going to start on The Scribble right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here on The Scribble. So it's a bunch of just randomness today because we spent, if you heard the last 4 weeks of shows, we talked about, it was a bit overkill now that I think about it. There was so much to talk about when it comes to restaurants. We talked about whether people are, getting value for their money, if they're just fed up, the whole automated system, apps, kiosks, delivery, fees, quality, just, everything. So there was a lot to talk about because, there was so much that people were sharing and carrying on about. And then, one topic led into another, which led into another, which led into another. Ultimately, it was over basically 2 hours of conversation across 4 episodes. So just some randomness today. Now, I have a colleague. I'm not going to name who it is, Tim, but he's a lottery snob. Now, I'd never thought about this. I'd never heard about this. So I'm not a gambler. I don't buy lottery tickets. I mean, I will go and play the odd bingo game every now and then at a casino because that's just fun. But we turn it into a social thing. I go with my husband's assistant, Lisa. We do bingo. We have a glass of wine. We're actually talking. We're not even really paying attention to the game. It's on a computer, so you're just having to hit a button. You don't even really focus on what you're doing, but we're laughing and we're having a good time. And actually, I've gone with Suzanne. I've gone with most of our team, actually, come to think of it. So, but it's a social thing. So we're not, okay, so yes, I gamble, I guess, but not, like lottery tickets and stuff like that, that's not my thing. We get them as gifts, right? I mean, you get them in a birthday card or whatever, but otherwise I'm not walking through the store, even though, think about those Powerball jackpots that we see all the time here in California. So I've bought the odd one just because, again, if we're at the store or, people are talking about it, it's like, okay, whatever, $3, $4, I don't know how much the ticket is, but, whatever. So Tim, believe it or not, Tim, who's not a wealthy person, says that he'll only buy a lottery ticket. So this is the one where they pick the numbers, right? That kind of a lottery ticket. It's not worth his while to buy a lottery ticket when it's only $2 million, $5 million, $10 million. He's just not buying it. It's almost insulting to him. That's such a low jackpot. Why would I buy a ticket for that? Do you know anybody that has that attitude? That I've never heard that before. I swear to you. I'm sitting here going, $1 million, I mean, why not? I'd take it if it's a matter of investing $2 or, again, however much ticket is, 2, 3, 4, even if it's $5, who cares? $5 and you win $1 million. I mean, come on, that's a pretty good investment, return on investment. That's pretty fucking good. So I started to ask around, and people have said, well, I'll buy it when it's a big jackpot. And so I guess big jackpot is in the eye of the beholder, right? It's subjective. I mean, what's a big jackpot to you versus something? I mean, for me, $5 million is a big jackpot. But again, I don't pay attention to these things, so I don't know. When I see that the Powerball is $900 million, that's a big jackpot. But am I going to turn up and go, hey, it's $10 million. It's the same, whatever. I mean, but, only $10 million? No, I'm not buying. It's only $10 million. Have you heard this before? Do you have this attitude? I definitely want to hear from you. You wouldn't, I don't want it. It's only $10 million. Send me an email. You definitely need to show your face. You need to admit this. Live, LIVE at jbonair.com. Live at jbonair.com. I was amazed by that. I kind of thought. Now, what I'm saying is, I understand that when I see the sign that says 70 million, 70, okay, that's a big number. Is seeing the number 2 million going to catch my eye? It probably won't as much as seeing 70. So, now I guess maybe as I'm talking it through, am I being a hypocrite? Because, what I buy? But like I said, I buy it when it's, it's hyped up, it's in the news, it's everybody's talking about it, whatever, because I almost kind of want to do that victory lap. I kind of want, if I did win and go, I don't even normally buy a ticket, which is the truth, because we don't. We don't buy, because to me that's something that's very, I guess you have them in the grocery stores or whatever when you're going to the checkout. Well, no, you don't have, not in a grocery store. You'd have them at like I guess the pharmacy is where you go. But I'm thinking like if we go to the grocery store and you can buy the lottery tickets at another desk, right? Another counter. It's not at the actual cashier. So we don't even pass it, right? Like we're not, I guess if you go through a mall, there's probably the kiosk where you can buy tickets, but we're just not paying attention to that. So, but if I see that there's a lineup or I see the blinking sign that says $50 million, I'm like, why not? But I don't look at it as though, only 2 million. No, like it's insulting. I don't know. I want to know what you think. Send me an email live at jbonair.com, LIVE at jbonair.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Jeremy Bradley here on the Scribble. If you are a dog owner, and it's mostly dogs, I don't know if people do it for cats. Have you noticed that people clench their teeth when they're petting a dog? Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, he's a good boy. And like, I'm trying to talk with my teeth clenched. Oh, yeah. It worries me when people do that when they're petting my dog. I don't know, just it's like, are you going to bite him? Are you trying to like, why are you, it's weird, right? Because they do that. It's usually when it's a really aggressive head rub, right? That's when it's like, oh yeah. Or a belly rub or something. I don't get the clenching the teeth. It's very, see, when I said earlier that it's just a bunch of randomness on the show today, that's something that it's kind of made me think. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand the clenching the teeth. My dad would do that to our family dog when we would. Not that he really ever engaged with the dog anyway, but the odd time where my dad would play with the dog, I remember that. And then my sister-in-law would do the same thing when she would see the dog clench her teeth as she's petting his head really hard. Why do people do that? What does it mean? It's the things that make you go, right? You've probably never even thought about this before, but really, send me an email. Tell me what you think. Live, LIVE at jbonair.com. Live at jbonair.com. we have very little of substance or importance to talk about on this show today, so why not? We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. So, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's sort of funny that people do that. There you go. Is it time for another break already? We're just getting canceled. We're just get off the fucking microphone, Jeremy. Just don't even bother. Or do you want to go into the next one? Should we go into the next one? I can do it. Or you want to take a break? What are we doing, you guys? Tell me what we're doing here. The next one that I have is not being left alone in the store. And then the other one is, when you got your allowance, did you spend it all right away or did you save? What do we want to do? We'll keep going. That wasn't a long enough segment is what Bonnie is saying. Keep going. All right. So I was speaking of going through the mall, I was at the mall with Suzanne not too long ago, and a lot of people know that listen to the show that I own a swimwear company with my husband, or our company owns a swimwear company, but it's my husband and I that are really the owners. And so we like to not necessarily check out the competition, but we went into a swimwear store at the mall. From the second that we walked in, literally the second that it was like we just crossed the threshold going into the store. And the employee was on us. Not like, watching us like that we're shoplifting, but was just, oh, hi, how are you guys doing? Good. Anything I can help you find? No, just browsing, thanks. Okay, well, here if you need anything, just let us know. All right, great, thanks. And so we weren't even looking at anything in particular. Like I said, we're going in to, just whatever, scope out to see if they've got men's stuff. Is it similar to what we have? Is it, similarly priced? Whatever. Like we were just, not that we were doing Oppo research. We just, whatever. We're passing by. Oh, there's a swimwear store. Let's go check it out. See what they have. So we're maybe in there for 1 minute in total. Maybe 1 minute. And then she comes over and she's talking with us again. Oh, is any particular occasion, you going to the beach, is it vacation, whatever. So then I give Suzanne this look, and she's known me long enough, so she's like, oh, here we go. And I just said, yeah, actually, I'm, doing a vacation to Mexico, just kind of going away just for the weekend, not anything big. Oh, just the week. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so is it a work thing? Is it is it this, is it that? And I said, nah, just going with my husband. Probably won't even really be wearing, much clothing at all while we're there. So, but, you get something. Okay, so it's for you, for him, maybe for both of you. And I said, not really sure, but I'll take a look and let you know. Okay, yeah. So we have some really nice ones over. And so we've got over here, then I'm looking at Suzanne going, she told me later when we left the store, she said to me, I swear I thought you were going to tell her off. You just had that look in your face that you were, because you mentioned your husband. I thought, oh, he's going to get inappropriate. He's going to say something really awkward and, just really embarrass her or something. And I said, it was tempting. It was really, that's the beauty of our team that's been together for so long. Suzanne hasn't been here for 20 years. She's actually 8 years, I think, maybe 9, almost 10 years. But, we're together so much that we just know what each other's thinking and what's going to happen. And so, yeah, we're just in the store. And I thought, again, I get it. It's customer service. And, you can also look at that and go, hey, there's some stores where you walk in, they don't even acknowledge your existence when you're in there. So certainly, she was friendly, but at the same time, kind of like take the cue, right? If you're asking us questions, we're not even really looking directly at you when we're answering. We're just kind of either looking at each other. We're still looking at the racks of clothing, whatever. So the fact that we're not making eye contact, we're not really into the conversation, we're not really engaging, take a step back and, just like you said when we walked in, well, we're here if you need well, we didn't call you. We don't need something. So why are you coming back to check on us? This isn't a restaurant where, back to restaurants. This isn't a restaurant where, how are the first few bites? Everything is okay? No, we said we're just looking. If you want to watch us from a distance because you think we're going to steal, fine, but don't make the chit chat. Because do you know what ends up happening? We get pissed off and we walked out. So maybe there was a chance that I was actually going to be shopping for something, or maybe she would have seen a swimsuit that she liked and she would have bought it. Instead, we go in there and it's kind of like, leave us alone. You pissed us off, so now we're leaving. So we're not coming back there. And the funny thing was, this happened a while ago. I've gone back to that mall with Suzanne. I don't know if it was last. So that instance happened. That was several years ago. we went back there. I don't know if it was last summer or whatever. And it was funny because as we were passing it, I looked at her and I said, do you remember? She had the exact same story. That, oh, we weren't left alone. Oh, we weren't there. Oh, she was saying this. I said, yes. So we don't even remember the name of the store. We just remember that that's where it was in the mall. It was upstairs on this side, and it was, that's the, we wouldn't even step foot in there. We were just kind of like, nope, bad experience. Not going back there. Not going in there to browse. Like I said, we weren't going to buy anything anyway, but still, right? I mean, if I knew the name, that would be something. I'm going to go online and just rip them to shreds, but no. So yeah, I just, the staff just not leaving us alone in the store. Now, I've said this when I've gone on rants about customer service in the past, is it's one thing to acknowledge that your customer is there and the friendly thing of, okay, well, let us know if you need something. But, to continually, come over, unless you're suspicious of us, just let us do our thing. Or pretend that you're busy. Go to, I don't like when I go into a store and they're just standing at the counter talking to each other. Like, I don't want to hear your conversation as employees. I don't want to know what you're talking about. I don't want to know that, I'm going to go on break. That's, keep it professional. Keep it low key. Keep it to yourselves. Just sit there quietly. I also don't like going to a store. I don't like seeing staff standing and looking at their phones. This is the thing. It's ironic when you go to one of those phone kiosks or a phone store and they're standing at the front basically almost as a greeter, and they're not even looking up. They're playing on their phone. So yes, you can go and say, well, it's a phone store and he's on his phone. Okay. But that's not very welcoming. It's not welcoming to go into a store and be like, oh, the staff isn't even acknowledged. Like, their head is down as I'm walking in. And then you feel like you're interrupting them because they have to look up from their phone, right? And the best one is the security guards. There's a jewelry store in that same mall that I was just talking about. And a lot of security guards in stores now, where, you come in and they're standing and looking, they're playing on their phone. And I sit here going, of all people, of all jobs in this store or in this, wherever we are, your job is the one that you should be looking around and looking and making eye contact with every single person that's in there. You're the one who's supposed to be watching and observing and not taking your eye off the sales floor. But you're on your phone. So you got your, bulletproof vest or whatever it is. You also see them that they got their hands on their, like they're almost like they're parachuting. They're hanging on to their thing. And they, try to look rough and tough. But as soon I come around the corner and I see you're playing on your phone, I'm just kind of like, yeah, security, you're not doing a good job. Sorry, you're not. You're on duty right then and there. You've got your head down. It's that 2 seconds where you're looking down that I know you're not paying attention. I'm going to steal. I'm not saying I will, but I'm just saying that's how it is. So yes, there's two very different customer service approaches. Is they're not leaving us alone. And maybe the staff at that swimwear store was bored as hell and was just kind of like, oh my God, there's customers. Let's just, I get that too. And then there's, just totally being ignored. Which level of customer service do you appreciate? Probably something in the middle, I'm guessing, right? It's one of those things, no, just browsing and okay, that's my cue to leave you alone, I would think. But maybe not. Send me an email live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. We will talk about childhood allowances on the Scribble right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
JB here on the Scribble. We are motoring along, and so in that last segment, I talked about childhood allowances. First of all, did you even get an allowance when you were a kid, and was it something decent? So think about how much you were. I don't remember how much we got as kids, but I don't know how much it would buy us today. I think that we probably, truthfully, I don't remember if it was weekly, if it was probably something connected to our parents' payday, so maybe every 2 weeks. Maybe, I don't know if it was $5, maybe it was $10. I remember at one point getting a $20 bill. I don't know if that... Now, this is the thing, was that growing up in our house, we didn't have a list of chores to do. We didn't have... Like, I see all these when you go to people's houses now, on the fridge, they've got, the chore wheel or the chart of, which kid is responsible for what, and you've got to unload the dishwasher, you've got to do, it's like, no, we never had, well, we didn't have a dishwasher, so we couldn't have done that. But yeah, we didn't have like, oh, well, if you clean your, I mean, our mom cleaned our rooms. That's just how it went. I've got two older brothers. They shared a room and I had my own room. I guess we tidied. I wouldn't say that we vacuumed our room ever. That was just not something that we were expected to do as kids. Maybe we were babied. I never, we lived in Canada, so winter obviously was I never had to shovel the snow. I don't know that I ever shoveled the snow when I lived at home with my parents, and I lived there until I was, how old was I? 20. I bought my house when I was 25, I think. I'm 43 now, so I haven't lived with them for a long time. But I don't know if I ever did. I know that my brothers would go out, my dad would go out, my mom would go out, but I was the baby. I don't think that I ever shoveled snow. Even now at our house in Canada, we have somebody that comes into the snow. I have shoveled, but it's not something that I'm just, no. So with our allowance, I don't remember even if we did anything to get it. I think it was just kind of, we just got it because it was that day of the week, or it was that, day, it was payday or whatever it was. You don't really ask questions like that, right? I'm like, Mom, why? So we only get it because it's your payday? We didn't ask. We were just happy to get money. But that's the question though, is that, so when you did get an allowance, provided you did you go run out? So you got, let's say it's $10. Did you go run out to the store right away, spend that $10 on candy, comic books, chips, I don't know, what did kids buy back then? Trading cards, right? Hockey cards I know my brothers would get. Would you spend that $10 right when you got it on allowance day? Or were you, I was going to say resourceful, that's not resourceful to save it. Were you more money conscious? Did you save that because your next allowance, you're going to get another 10, and now you've got $20 to spend, so you can get something bigger. You can get one bigger thing. It's kind of like Christmas, right? Well, do you want one really big, expensive gift, or would you want 5 little ones, cheaper ones? I was talking about trading cards. So when I was growing up, we had, this is the funniest thing. I'm the gay guy, but we had X-Men cards. Marvel or X-Men. I think it was X-Men though. And there was just something about in junior high when we were, like the new X-Men cards would come out. I can't remember what they were. There was a name to them. They had like a blue trim on them or whatever. Like I still see them just because. So there was a corner store that would sell these cards, and they had like hockey cards and things, because my brothers went there too. But there was just something about collecting cards back then. And so, if you had the whole set, or if you got a double, you would then trade it with somebody, and then, you'd help each other out, because there were always more of this one than that one. And then you find those books that tell you how right? You could sell them now because they're trading cards and they're worth something. So I became almost addicted to that, because as soon as I would get money, whether it was from, my birthday, or it was the allowance or whatever it was, I would bolt to that corner store because I was just obsessed with getting a complete set. And then, now you've got this. So my allowance, my money was blown almost right away. I would almost say, and I'm not making a joke, I would almost say that it became close to an addiction. I think that it became obsessive, at least, that I don't remember how much they were. Let's say they were $5. I believe that seems too expensive. But even the second that I got $5, I was like bolting to that store to buy another package. And then I'm going to the bottom of the box because, that one's going to have there were some holograms in a couple of them as well. So that's, was fancy, and that was the good one to get, and it was, worth money and what have you. But that's what I was doing, is that I wasn't saving my money at all. Didn't save my money. I would go out and spend it, as necessary. I never looked forward to, as I said, like, oh, well, now I'm going to have $20. I never looked at it that way. But once I got a job, so I started working when I was 13 years old out at the lake. There was a store at the lake where it was not that far from where, it was actually around the corner from my parents' cottage, where you would get, there was a restaurant and they had little, it wasn't a grocery store, but it was just, you could get bottles of mustard or whatever, just because maybe you forgot something at home or whatever, and you could just get them there. And there was an ice cream, you can get ice cream. There was a little candy area, and we sold cigarettes. I was 13 years old selling cigarettes at the store. Even though I wasn't old enough to buy them, I was still selling them to people. And so when I got the job there, we were making what was the minimum wage then? Oh my God. Okay. So this is 30 years ago. As I said, I'm 43. I think we were making $5.40 an hour. Is that what we were paid? $5.40 or $5.60? So when you think about that, for a 13-year-old kid back then, that was a lot of money. Especially if you're working, we would be doing, I don't think it certainly wasn't 8-hour shifts, but it was at least, 3-4 hours at a time, right? I mean, that's a good, $20-some. And it was all under the table, so we weren't taxed on it. So it was great. We'd either get cash or we'd get a check at the end of the week or every 2 weeks or whatever it was. So that was when I saved money. And by the way, I actually ended up keeping a running tally. So that summer, when I worked at the store, I think I started maybe halfway through the summer. I didn't work the entire summer, but I would make a note of how much I was paid. So let's say that it was $75 or whatever. And I would make a note. Okay, August 2nd, I was paid $75. And then the next, August whatever, I had $85. And that first summer, I made $800 from working. And so when I guess maybe it's different. Saving money, I think maybe is different when it's a larger amount, right? When you're looking at it as a kid, $5 or $10 could be a lot of money when you're younger. But when you're 13 and you have a little bit more of a concept of money, it's right. That $75 is worth saving because that is a lot of money, right? Especially if you're wanting, let's say if it's a video game. In my case, I wanted a small television for my room. And so this is when a 13-inch TV, those are remember the big chunky TVs they weighed a ton. It was about $200 for a 13-inch TV. But my brothers had a TV downstairs in the basement in the rec room. My parents had one in the living room. And I spent a lot of time in my room. I was kind of always the in-between. I'd get the TV when I got the TV. So I would wake up early on Saturday morning before everybody was awake and I'd get the TV in the living room. Once everyone is awake, I'm just kind of like, well, Jeremy, you've had the TV. So now it's, let us watch something. So I kind of thought, okay, I'm going to get a TV. And so that when I had the $800 and whatever dollars it was, at the end of the summer, I was like, okay, I'm going to buy my $200 and some TV. So, as I got older, and again, like I said, I was asking if you saved your allowance. So I'm talking about now when I'm working, and when it was a larger amount, I was saving it up. Because, you have a bit more of a concept of money and you kind of, you have that bigger, when you're 5 years old, a bag of chips or a box of candy or something is the ultimate goal, right? And then when you're 13, maybe you have bigger expectations of now the kids are going to want the cell phone or whatever. That wasn't a thing back then. So that's not something that I would have saved for. But definitely, okay, I've got my eyes. I want a TV. I'm going to work. I'm going to save for it. And now all I have to do is I just have to beg on social media, right? I've got to put my Venmo link. Send me money. You have no reason. Just send me money. I'm good for it. I deserve it. I'm entitled to it. Give me free money. Don't get me started on online panhandlers. That's another thing. I mean, let me go on a rant here. I know we've got to go for a break, but I'm going to take a few more minutes because I went there. For these people that call themselves influencers, quote unquote influencers, I've taken lots of shots at them on this show in the past. If you have a donation link in your social media bio, you are not an influencer. You are an online panhandler. Let's get that straight, folks. Okay? It's something that just, I don't know, it irks me. It irks me to no end. It really irks me. I get irked by it. I'm irked. Because this is what I don't like. You put this professional image with your social media, right? You have your bio, maybe you have professional photo shoots and everything just looks so glam and so amazing and so incredible, whatever. I click your link and I see a Venmo, send me money. You go down like 10 notches with me. There's just something that is so disgusting about that. Because what that tells me is everything that you're putting forward, all this superficial, this flashy, whatever, is all a farce. You're not living the high life. You're not living a glam life. You're not. And if you are, it's because people are just giving you money for no fucking reason at all. And you could look at it one of two ways and go, hey, people are giving me money, so why not? I'm going to take it. That's fine. Then that's panhandling. That's panhandling. Panhandling. When I bought my house, I said, I bought when I was 25. There was something so sweet about being able to say, I bought this house on my own. And there are times, even to this day, because I own 2 houses now, and they're both very big, and they both have pools. There are times, and I've said this to my husband, we both have a lot of money. I said it to my cousin the other day on a video chat. I said, I walk through my house, and there's times when I just go, this is mine. This is mine. I have this because of I started working when I was 13 years old, folks. I have never not worked since I was 13. I mostly retired at the age of 39 when I signed off from our syndicated radio shows, but we still have income in from our businesses and things, so, and I do this show and, whatever. But, I would not, like if somebody, let's say, bought me a car, bought me some kind of like big ticket item, I just wouldn't be going and flashing it around knowing that I didn't earn it. Yes, my husband, he's offered to buy me a car, and I'm just kind of like, no, I just don't. We don't buy each other gifts. We don't. But there's just, you're going to go around and brag, but it's like, but somebody gave it to you. Somebody did it for you. It was their money that got you that. I'm so proud that I've been able to work and, afford houses, plural. If I was able to get these houses because I was panhandling, soliciting, crowdfunding, whatever on social media, I don't know that I'd be able to go through my house and be like, I have this because somebody gave it to me, or I have this because I have an Amazon wish list and stuff. Like, I didn't even know what that was until I started looking at these people's links and seeing the bios. The Amazon wish list of stuff that people want you to buy them. I've never even heard of that before. The one thing that I always find tacky is people posting that it's their birthday and then the Venmo link to send them money for their birthday. The equivalent to that would be going to a family get together or going to school and just announcing to the class, it's my birthday, so here's my Venmo to send me money. How gross is that? But the worst part is that it's the younger generation that's getting into that. I mean, it's bad enough when I see adults doing it. When I see that you've got 75,000 followers, you have this glam, travel life and this, everything's wonderful, everything's magnificent, and you've got a fucking panhandling Venmo link? Bitch, please. I mean, you could say that I'm bitter because you're not having to do anything to get that money, but I don't know. That just seems like it's sleazy. I'm not saying that you're a prostitute. I'm not saying that you're a whore, that you're sleeping with people to get money. But, I mean, it's almost the equivalent, I would think. There's just something weird about it. There's just something weird about an adult who just expects to post just send me money. Send me money. Give me money. It's my birthday. Not even. Just you go to my page and you see the link, and I wonder how many people do it, or a PayPal link or whatever it is. It's very strange to me. It's very strange. Tell me what you think about that. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. I will give you my Venmo address. No, I don't even know. I don't have anything like that. I've never begged. I've never panhandled online for money. So we're going to take a break. Back on the Scribble right after this.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter @The Scribble Show and @thescribbleshow.com.
All right, we're out of time. Late as usual. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Thanks so much for listening. I will talk to you same time, same place next week. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter @thescribbleshow. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.